Now here's a question, and you will have 30 seconds to think about it. Who do you think you are? Hello guys, and welcome back to BIZember, the month where I'm going to give you all of the tools and the mindset tricks to make 2020 the best year of your life. Now today is all about mindset, in particular growth mindset, fixed mindset, why a lot of people are stuck in a fixed mindset, and how you can figure out where your tendencies towards a growth mindset or a fixed mindset are the strongest. Now just a brief disclaimer, if you want to go more in depth with this topic, I have a full 1-hour podcast episode because I did an Instagram live about the topic. The podcast is called Growth Mindset Hackers because I'm a growth mindset coach, so obviously it is about growth mindset, and I will have it linked in the description box down below. Now if you really want to make 2020 the most successful year of your life, then consider subscribing because I will be uploading videos until the end of December, so you can really have all of the tools, all of the mindset hacks, all of the productivity skills, you name it, so you can prepare for 2020 and kick it off on January 1st right away. Now before I jump in and explain the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, you have to understand first what mindset actually means. Now basically, mindset is what your personality consists of. It's the way that you perceive the world, it's the way that you treat people, it's the way that you handle problems and challenges, and it's basically the way that you see yourself. Now there are people who think that they were born with a certain set of intelligence, a certain tendency towards skills, or that they inherited some talents from their parents. While this might be true to some degree, it's nothing to get caught up on, because on the opposite there's also people who know that they can develop any sort of skill, that even they were not born with a certain talent, it doesn't mean that they will never be successful in a certain area. And that's where we're going to jump in with growth mindset. Now, I like to link everything with kind of images and metaphors so it's easier for you to remember. So when it comes to growth mindset, I personally always like to think of it as an open door, or I also like to connect it with a key that you can open a door with, or several doors for the matter. Because somebody with a growth mindset or with a tendency towards a growth mindset is a person who knows that whichever situation they are in right now, whether it being a good situation or a bad situation, it's never a permanent situation. It's just temporarily, and it's up to them to change it. So they have understood that with enough patience, time, effort, and especially consistency, they can change anything for the better. Or quite contrarily, if they don't take action, they can make matters worse. So a person with a tendency towards a growth mindset has the capacity to grow. They not only have the willingness to put in all of the time and the effort to improve themselves, but they also understand that this is the crucial part. They always see the big picture, and they understand that in order to reach that goal, they have to pass certain milestones on the way there. And they understand that it's really crucial to really go step by step towards the goal, because then you will not only improve yourself and get better, you will also get a better understanding of the whole picture, and you're not gonna get that if you jump from start to finish. Now this is the very basic idea of a growth mindset, and again, I have a whole podcast episode about the topic where I go really deep into it. Now that you've understood what a growth mindset is, I want you to understand what a fixed mindset is. And again, when I think about fixed mindset, the picture that comes into my mind is a closed door, or even better, a lock that you kind of have lost the key to. So whereas a growth mindset thinks that, anything can be developed, anything can be learned, somebody with a fixed mindset thinks that they were born with a certain set of skills. They were born with a talent, they were born to be a singer or a dancer, or, born with a talent to speak a lot of languages. So they have a really hard time coping with the fact that they don't have a certain skill right now, or they don't have certain talents that they would ideally want to have. Because for them, they think that whatever situation they are in right now, it's a fixed situation. They cannot really change the situation, or that it will be really hard, and because they don't have a certain set of skills or talents, like I already said, it will be really hard, if not impossible, for them to get out of a certain situation. Because somebody with a fixed mindset, they want to be good at something now. They want to be praised now. So for them, putting in the effort doesn't really cut it, because they think that if they have to put in effort, it doesn't mean that they are perfect or super awesome at whatever they want to be really good at right now. And they don't really want to lose face. So for them, putting in the effort means that they are really not where they want to be. And it really makes them feel ashamed in worst case scenarios. So when it comes to changing a situation and putting in the effort, somebody with a fixed mindset is really unwilling to do that. They don't really have the power or the effort or the capacity to put in the effort and accept that only if they put in time, consistency, they will be able to change the situation. So that's a fixed mindset. Now, what's really important for you to understand that it's never an either or situation. You don't have a growth mindset or you don't have a fixed mindset. That's the good news. Because what's really important is to understand that, like I said, you don't have a certain mindset. You have a tendency towards a mindset in a certain situation. So for example, if you're traveling and there would be an opportunity that would be absolutely amazing, but you don't really know the outcome yet for sure, somebody with a growth mindset would definitely take the risk and try to make the best out of the situation no matter what's going to happen. So they really try to see it as a lesson or something that might not ever happen again. So they welcome it and they're really excited about it. Whereas somebody with a fixed mindset in that situation is not really willing to take the risk because it's not a calculated risk. They don't really know the outcome. They don't know if it's going to be dangerous. They don't know if it's going to be, worth their time, worth the money. So in that situation, if you have a tendency towards a fixed mindset, it doesn't mean that in other situations where maybe the risk is a bit more calculated or it's something that you've done before, so you can kind of estimate what the outcome is going to be, then in that situation, you could have more of a tendency towards a growth mindset. Do you understand that? Or I'll give you an example from me, maybe it's a bit easier to understand. So in my situation, I am just starting out with YouTube, right? My editing skills are really not where I want them to be, but I take it as a challenge, It took me really long to edit my first video, I have actually edited a lot of videos and this is only the second one that I'm uploading because at the beginning my mindset was really fixed. I had this idea. I've been watching YouTube now for over 10 years, so I really have this idea of what I want my videos to look like. But while I was starting at the beginning, I was really frustrated because I didn't know the editing program yet. I didn't know where all of the animation is coming from, where the sound is coming from. So it took me really months, I'm now ashamed to say it, months to really edit my first video. And because I just didn't know how to do it better and I was really stuck on that situation and really frustrated. Whereas now I just really understand to make the cuts as good as I can, have an intro there, and then so for every video I will try to improve something, like a better animation, a better transition, those kind of things. So when it comes to editing, I have definitely changed my mindset. I went from a fixed mindset, being frustrated, not editing my videos, not uploading anything, pushing away YouTube for such a long amount of time, and have really changed the tendency from that fixed mindset now towards a growth mindset, because I have understood that it is a growth journey. It's something that I really can develop if only I put in the time and the effort and the consistency and upload videos all the time, because every single time I will upload a video, so every single time I will also improve my editing skills. I will become more sufficient and thus will have more time to learn other things to improve on a video. Okay, that was a little longer than I wanted to take on explaining the situation, but it is going to help you later for your task of the day, so bear with me. Now, what you also need to understand is if your tendency towards a fixed mindset is stronger than your growth mindset, it's nothing to feel bad about. This is really crucial because if you feel bad about your mindset, you will really make it difficult for you to grow it, to change it, to grow your tendency towards a growth mindset. Because if you feel bad about it, change that is linked to a negative emotion is always really difficult to handle. And again, I'm now trying to start not to talk too much about it because I have a whole hour on this on my podcast. So just know that a fixed mindset is kind of normal, sadly, nowadays for our society. So, when we grow up, we go to school, we're just basically set on a fixed mindset. We're being graded, we're being judged. Also when we look at magazines, we have like these beauty standards. That is all fixed mindset in a sense, because this is the norm. That's what it means to be beautiful, and everything that is not even close to that is not beautiful. Do you see where I'm heading? So basically it's a society that we grew up in, but it is in your power to change that. It is really in your power to understand that you can increase your tendency towards a growth mindset in basically any situation. Now you also have to be realistic because it will be really difficult, it will take time, but again, with a growth mindset, you are willing to take the time to spend the time on getting better, to spend the time to increase your tendency. But on the other hand, a fixed mindset is really nothing to feel bad about. It's just important that you recognize it and that you learn how to deal with it. And that's really what we're going to do over this upcoming month. So now that you know what a fixed mindset is, you will probably want to increase your tendency towards a growth mindset, because with a growth mindset, it will be much easier to live. You will overall be a much more positive and happy person, and especially more optimistic, because you know that you have the power to make anything happen. And I think that just knowing that, like for me, it has changed a lot. And that's really something that I want to happen to you and to anyone I can reach as well. So again, the first step to developing your tendency towards a growth mindset is understanding the difference. It's also important to understand when your tendency towards one mindset is stronger than in the other situation. So it's really important to know that, but it's not about knowing, it's about taking action. And the easiest way for you to take action is by the way you talk to yourself. So for example, if there is a situation that you need to work on a project or anything and you feel like, oh hell no, I don't feel like doing this, I don't know how to do it, I'll just give up, whatever. This is basically where it starts. This is where you have a fixed mindset. So you will never approach the project. It will be really difficult for you to grow. It will be really difficult for you to finish the project if you absolutely have to. So you really need to learn how to talk to yourself. If there is a situation, of course there are situations that are really tough for every one of us. But what's really important for you in the situation is that you approach it differently with the way you talk to yourself. So if there is any sort of challenge and you feel like, okay, take a deep breath, close your eyes if you have to, maybe that helps, and then use the magic of one single word, and that is yet. So, I have no idea how to do this yet, but I will figure it out. Or I don't really feel like doing this yet, but I will find a way to get motivated. Do you see what I mean? So really, like, mindset, no matter if it's a growth or a fixed mindset, is really strongly linked to how we talk to ourselves. But it is also very strongly linked to our habits and to our routines. If you don't really have good routines or habits in place, it will be much more difficult for you to motivate yourself, because you don't really see the outcome, you don't really see the purpose, and you also don't understand the time that you're kind of wasting. But if you have your routines, it means that you value your time. You understand that in order to reach a certain goal with a growth mindset, again, you need those milestones in between so you can actually reach your goal efficiently. And if you don't have good routines and habits in place that will save you time and become a better version of yourself every single day, it's going to be really hard for you to really work on any project, to make a year, a month, a day, even a successful day. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this now, because there will be a video coming up where I will be talking about habits, about routines, but linked to the growth mindset. It's not just like, how are you going to do your morning routine? What's an effective evening routine? No, I'm really going to connect it to your growth mindset and why these routines are important and how you can develop routines that match with you and not thousands of YouTube videos. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say today. So now we're going to talk about your task for today, because again, in December, I really want to prepare you for the upcoming year so that you are prepared when 2020 starts, and not spending the majority of January getting yourself clear on what you want to achieve that year, taking action steps, creating action steps, most importantly. No, you really have to be there already when January hits, when 2020 has already started. So again, there will be a task every single day. If you don't know how to start with your tasks, then I really encourage you to go to my yesterday's video, where I will give you literally a magical method that has changed my life. It is the easiest method to start, even if you don't have an action plan, even if you don't know yet how things work, what you have to do. It is life-changing, I promise you. So for today's task, I really want you to figure out in which situations your tendency towards a growth mindset is stronger than your tendency towards a fixed mindset. And I really hope for your sake that in most situations, your tendency towards a growth mindset is stronger. But again, if it's not, don't beat yourself up over it, because if you're really willing to improve yourself, if you're really willing to put in the time to become a better version of yourself, it doesn't matter if right now you have stronger tendencies in more situations towards a fixed mindset, because you will change it. And literally, once you have understood how it works, it can happen like this, so don't worry about it. So today's really just about learning how you can recognize in which situation you have what kind of mindset, or where the tendency is stronger than in another situation. So again, it's just about understanding what is a fixed mindset, what is a growth mindset. Because when you're in a situation and you don't really know how to move forward, and you understand that, like right now my tendency towards a fixed mindset is super strong, you can use this self-talk and really get your tendency more towards a growth mindset. And that is what today's task is all about. So I will be giving you a couple of questions, and then I will give you the answer in my workbook, and then you can go through them and understand, okay, here is really the growth mindset happening, here's really the fixed mindset happening. So I will give you the questions now here, and if you want to know the answers, because it will really just make the video so much longer, then go down to the description box. I will have a link there, and then you can just download the workbook there. So the first question that I want you to answer is, who do you think you are? I started the video with the question because I think it's a bit provocative. That's how I like, starting videos. But in general, it's, again, now that you have been through the video, you understand that who do you think you are? It's not about, I'm a growth mindset, I'm a fixed mindset person. No, it's about, do you think that you were born with a certain set of skills? Do you really think that, by birth you were giving talents, skills, or do you realize that actually throughout your life, taking lessons, going to school, being around certain people. You have developed those skills. You have even developed different interests. This is a really important question, and really answer it truthfully. There is no shame if you would put like a F for a fixed mindset. It's just for you to understand that, okay, this is where I'm at, and now I'm going to improve. Now the next question. I really want you to remember a situation recently that has really been stressing you out. And again, I want you to remember how you reacted in that situation. Because did you take it on? Did you avoid it? Did you try to make it better? Did you blame it on somebody else? What did you do? Then I want you to think about the last time somebody gave you a critique, any sort of feedback or a review. And to make this even more clear, I want you to think of a feedback or a review that was a bit more negative or constructive. So how did you react? Did you take it personal? Did you try to learn something from it? Did you, again, blame it on somebody else, or like did you blame it on the situation? And then I want you to think about, anything that is unforeseeable, any sort of challenge, any sort of obstacle that comes your way. How do you react? Are you trying to avoid it? Are you trying to push it on other people? Or do you embrace it? Are you excited about it? Or, you don't have to be excited about it, but do you understand that this is a situation that can help you improve, that can help you become a better version of yourself? Or is it something that you just really push aside? You don't want to hear from it. You just want to put like a blanket over it and never have to deal with it again. Another situation that I want you to imagine is if you have put in a lot of effort and time into something, but it still didn't work out. What did you do? Like, did you just freak out about it? You kind of, again, tossed it in a bin, didn't want to hear from it again? Or did you think that, actually, now I know what doesn't work, I will just try over and try to make it better. And if it doesn't work again, then, I've tried again, I have figured out another way that doesn't work, so I will try again. You will probably already understand now the differences between the two mindsets. I have two more. So one is about your interaction with other people. For example, if there is like a friend, a family member, or even your partner, and there is a problem coming up. So you're having a fight, or it's something really uncomfortable that you have to address. How do you react in that situation? Are you trying to avoid it because, like, in general, you don't like to have any fights? Or are you really trying to address the situation, talk about it, trying to find a solution with the other person? Or is it just, again, something that you're trying to avoid until, like, the bomb explodes and then you have a way bigger problem on your hands? And the last question is also one that is really important for you to answer. And that is, how do you feel when you look at people that are more successful than you, or that have basically reached something that you were trying to, but you didn't succeed? And the easiest way to imagine the situation is basically Instagram. So I'm sure there is a lot of profiles that you're watching, like accounts that you're kind of checking every single post on, about people that are having like this dream life that you're wanting to have. I don't know if it's like an influencer, or it's like a traveler, or like a mom with like the cutest little baby, and she still manages to look like fit and healthy and everything. So how do you feel when you look at those people? Are you happy for them? Are you like really jealous? Are you angry that this is not your life? Does it motivate you to, do everything that it takes to get there? How do you react when other people are successful and you're far from it, or you're not as successful yet? Okay, so this is it for BIZember. Again, this video was a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I just want to say it again because I personally am really passionate about growth mindset and fixed mindset, and I think more and more people are getting there. So that's why this podcast episode is really long. It goes into very detail about what I just talked about. So go into the description box and link it there. Now, I really want to know what you thought about this video. What do you think about growth mindset and fixed mindset? And do you think that you have a stronger tendency towards a growth mindset or towards a fixed mindset? And also, very important, are you willing to work on your mindset? Let me know in the comment box down below. I would also really appreciate it if you would head over to my Instagram, because Instagram is basically my place where I share a lot of things about my businesses, because I am a multipreneur. I'm also a digi-nomad, and I just really love sharing all of my travel things there, all of the behind the scenes, really, because I want to keep things very real when I'm, building my businesses on the go. So you can get to know me there, and if you do, please hit me up there, send me a DM and let me know that you're coming over from YouTube. And if you are really willing to make 2020 the best year of your life, then consider subscribing so you don't miss out on all of the videos that are coming up. I will have all of the tasks that I'm giving you in a very detailed workbook that you can download. Again, there is a link in the description box. Once you are subscribed to the newsletter, you will automatically be sent the workbooks every single day. But I do encourage you still to watch the videos, because I like to explain a little bit what it is about. So that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and tomorrow we're gonna have BIZember day 3. Bye!